Hey YouTube. So basically I want to make this video because I want to talk about some things that are on my mind right now. I want to talk about dead weight. And what I mean by dead weight is friendships that aren't beneficial to you. Sometimes people can be dead weight. And what I mean by dead weight is when you have a friend or friends that aren't helping you grow up. You're trying to be mature, you're trying to get out of a situation where you feel like the person brings you down, and you're trying to become a better person, and that one person that just holds you back from being the person you want to be, you really want to let go of them, but you can't. And I'm going to explain to you how to do that. Basically, you have to be selfish. And I know I say this a lot, you know, about relationships and whatnot, but it's also with your friendships too. Like, you can't depend on people to make you feel like you're worth something. If you're a good friend and you know you're a good friend, you don't need people to make you feel like you're a good friend. You just are. You shouldn't have to prove that to anybody. If somebody can see that you're a good friend, then they're going to be your friend. And if they don't take advantage of that, then they're not worth your friendship. People who are dead weight, they'll recognize that you're a good friend and they appreciate that, but they're not bringing anything to the table. They take too much advantage of, your friendship. Like, you give, but all they do is take, and they're not offering you anything. You are a really good friend and you do a lot for this person, but in return you don't get anything. That person is just taking from you, and you are gonna have nothing else to give, and you just like, okay, now what are you gonna do for me? And all they can think of is like little stuff that just ain't even worth, all of the things that you did for them. So there's no balance in the friendship. There's got to be balance. Like, when you do something nice for somebody, it shouldn't be you always doing something nice for them and they don't do anything nice for you. There should be a balance. If you're always calling this friend and asking them, what are we going to do, when we're going to hang out, and they're like, let's hang out, whatever, but they never call you, they never want to hang out with you, they never initiate anything, you always initiate everything, you have to constantly call and check up on them, they never talk to you, that's not a good friend. A good friend is going to call and check up on you, and unless there's like, a mutual thing. Like, I know me as a friend, I'm only going to do so much for you, and in turn you do so much for me. Like, I have a best friend that, we went off to college, and even though when we were not in college, when we were in high school, she used to come over to my house all the time, and she used to be over here, and we used to hang out, we used to go to the mall together, we used to do everything together. And then when we went off to college, we don't really talk as much, we don't really text, every once in a while she'll write on my wall on Facebook or something, but other than that, we don't really hang out, and that's just how it is. Like, I don't expect her to call me, she doesn't expect me to call her, and if there's something huge that comes up, like if it's a problem, she'll call me about it, but other than that, she's got her friends in college, I've got my friends separate, we have separate lives, and that's okay. We have, we still have a friendship, but it's not as, time consuming as it would have been if we weren't in college. But like, we're still really good friends. Like, when she comes home, we hang out and we're still really good friends. But then there's those friends that, they never talk to you and they never hang out. Like, you ask to hang out with him and they never text you back. They never call you back. You try and contact them and they won't answer their phone. Those kind of friends, obviously, they don't want to be bothered, then you don't bother them. That's just how it works. Don't keep calling. Don't keep texting back. Don't keep trying to make sure that they know you're alive. They know you're alive. They're not ignoring you for no reason. Like, there's a reason. So take a hint, stop calling, stop texting, and eventually they might call you back. And if they don't call you back, oh well, move on. Like, don't stress out over, unless they did that once and then all of a sudden they just stopped answering calls and answering text messages. Like, if they told you that, we need to kind of, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm busy. Okay, give them their space. Simple as that. But if you don't know why, I want to check up on that. I know that lately I've been kind of distancing myself from a lot of people that I feel like are not a good part of my life because of, things that have happened. And I just had to cut them out. Like, I've lost some really good friends over the past few years, and it's not because I'm a bad friend, but it's because things happen and times change. And you have to grow up. And part of growing up is recognizing that things have changed and accepting it. If you can't accept it and you keep trying to force, good memories of the past on your future, then you're just going to be stuck in your past and you're never going to have a future. So you have to make progression and you have to move on. You have to move past the fact that things are never going to be the way they were yesterday, because tomorrow is tomorrow, yesterday is yesterday, today is today. You have to make sure that you know where your time is. Sometimes you have to set priorities for yourself. Like, I know that I've cut out a lot of friend time because I have to set my priorities. I'm a commuter. I don't live on campus, so I don't really get to have a lot of fun like everybody else does because of the driving back and forth situation. But last semester I really tried to have a lot of fun, and I would stay on campus all day long, like literally all day, because I live 30 minutes away from campus. So, well, not 30 minutes, more like 15 or 20, but the drive is like 30 minutes. I used to be on campus all day, and like I would be there from like 8 o'clock in the morning to like 10 at night, just hanging out, just trying to be friends with people and trying to hang out and have fun. And it got really overbearing because I wouldn't do my homework until I got home, or I would try and do it in the library, and then I get sidetracked by somebody I knew coming in talking to me or something, and it just got out of hand. And I wasn't doing any of my homework, I wasn't doing my work, I was just like waiting till the last minute, wasn't getting any sleep, and there was no time for myself. And so this semester I cut off some of that time. I spend less time in the cafeteria. I go home when I need to do my work, and I make a lot more time, for myself and for my family, to see my family, because I never would be around my family. I didn't want to hang out with them very much, but now that I do, and just, making sure that everything in my life is put first and not about everybody else's, because I was only doing it, just so I could be around people and have more friends. But it's not about friends, it's about you, and it's about what you need. College is about finding yourself. And a lot of people think to find yourself, you have to be a grown up and go party and have a bunch of friends and find where you fit. And, finding where you fit was really high school for me. That's where I found out where I fit. And in high school, I found out that I really don't fit very many places because I'm such a unique person, and, not many people think like me. So, being with myself was kind of the only option that I had in high school. Went to such a cliquey school, so it's hard for me to, be in one clique because I'm a very versatile person and I like to be diverse. That's how I knew that I'm a very independent person, because, I just feel like I'm not a part of one social group. I've always been kind of independent, and that's how I've learned that, you don't need a bunch of friends to make you you. You have to make yourself you. And in finding yourself, that means sometimes you gotta be selfish, sometimes you gotta be by yourself, sometimes you need that time alone where you just isolate yourself from everybody, stop just hanging around with people just to be hanging with people because you're lonely. Sometimes your alone time is good time, you know? And, you know, you have to know yourself before you can understand anyone else. Nobody else is going to know who you are if you don't know who you are. So make sure that you have that together. Make sure you get rid of that dead weight, those people that aren't helping you at all. And you know who those people are. You know, everybody has those friends that just don't need to be. Those people that are just holding you back. You know, when you're trying to be a good person and there's that one person that just always brings you down, let them go. Let them go. Because if you don't, they're going to keep pulling you down further and further, and they're going to get heavier and heavier and be like, forget it, and just drop them. And you're going to feel like light as a feather after that. It's going to feel great, trust me. I would know.